So I wanted to go over, just kind of re-looking at one of our sessions from Thursday. So this is me and my fighter CJ. So I figured it'd be good just kind of take a look after the fact. He records the videos anyways, so get a good chance to kind of look at our drills, see what we're doing well, what we're not doing well. So what we're doing here is we're simulating sparring. You know, he's past the point where I'm not teaching him how to throw a jab, how to throw a cross. So what I want him to do is I want to build a reaction time. So if you notice what I'm doing, I'm keeping my left hand glued to my hand right there. I have a body shield on, so I'm essentially a walking heavy bag that's going to throw back at him. So right here, what we're working on is, you know, by default, I'm taller than him, and we're also working on how to fight a southpaw. So he's working on closing the distance, so right there, he's in his range. When he closes the distance, that's where he's going to do his work right. So right now, he's got his offense, and my goal right now as the longer opponent is to stay long. His goal is to keep crowding me. So every once in a while, I'm kind of, right here, this is my range. I was telling him this is where he doesn't want to do work. Every once in a while, I see him trying to counter from here. It's going to be a losing battle right here. So right now, it's more about surviving. You know, so right there, he inched his way in, got to a situation where he could hit. You don't want to force anything out there. So right here, this is the end of my punch. He's not looking for home runs. He's looking for singles. He's looking to just kind of get in range. So right here, this is just me, you know, kind of showcasing my range right here. And again, right there, he's, you know, I'd rather him just kind of inch in a little bit more. A little layer on his feet. See right there, it's going to be a very losing battle trying to fight me range for range. You know, it's very tough. Again, when you're giving up range, but you know he's got to just keep walking forward. So right there, when he walks forward, that's where he's going to do his work. That's where the combinations go. You can crowd me, get me against the ropes. That's where body shots are going to be key. That was a big key to his last fight. He was fighting a 6-foot guy constantly. Again, this is not the range you want to be at. Now, it doesn't mean you have to panic. I mean, he knows how to move his head. He knows how to survive and weather the storm. He's light on his feet right there. These are also some of the later rounds. So there's times where he's certainly not light on his feet, but it's understandable. And this is tough, you know, having to close this range. But you know, it's all about not trying to get greedy. So right there, I was just kind of slowing it down, really just probably emphasizing and reminding him, remember, you always get your way in here. You have a visual indicator. I want him to get wrist deep on my arm. So when I was putting out there, see right here, when he's in range, this is where he's going to do his work. This is where body shots come into play. But yeah, you know, when I had my hand up before, I would tell him I want him to get wrist deep. Don't try to fight me out in range. Once you're wrist deep, then you're in range. Yeah, see right here. Now he's in wrist deep. Now he gets his head offline. Again, this is where he can start working body. Especially when I'm against the ropes. Great time to go to the body. Yeah, it was a huge key to his last fight. Made the kid puke in between rounds, but that was another thing we were working on right there. I'm throwing the jab. He's replacing his head with his right hand. So otherwise, I mean, as far as the key to fighting a southpaw is all about getting the outside foot position. So, you know, when you're dealing with the length, it's just constant head movement right there. So you got that outside foot position. Just constantly keeping his foot on the gas. So see right there, he kind of was starting to back himself up here. That's doing me a favor. I mean, he has a longer opponent. I want to fight at range. He wants to fight in close. And when he's in close like this, is where he's going to do some work. He's taking the outside foot position. You know, I like a little lighter on the feet, but I don't expect perfection. Got his hands up here when I'm throwing back. Again, I'm not just a heavy bag. I'm not just calling 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of trainers can get you into shape, but this is how you actually build reaction time. You know, I'm throwing jabs. He's getting his head offline, replacing it with the right hand. It's not like it's a predictable rhythm either. Hopefully it records my audio this time. So unfortunately it's a little bit blurry, but this is me looking over last Thursday's session. I believe this is round 3 or 4 at this point. So we're working on, he's fighting a southpaw, and I'm naturally just taller than him. So I'm sure I'm emphasizing some type of point right there, but can't make myself shorter. So just by default, when we're doing these kind of flow drills, he's also got to kind of work on how to fight a longer opponent as well. But we're working on southpaw, so right now, again, the distance thing, he's looking to crowd me. So he wants to stay outside my range here. Or inside my range, rather. He wants to close that distance. So I was telling him out here, he doesn't want to do his work out here. He's not trying to hit me out here. He's trying to inch his way in to a point where he could hit me. Again, out here, this is where I'm just kind of picking apart. This is my range. And naturally longer, this is where I want to fight. He wants to crowd me. Yep, so that's a good example of him crowding me there. Again, it's when I'm a little bit lighter on his feet right now. Again, these are later rounds, but right now he's a little content to hang out on my range. That's the goal. He's going to walk in. This is where he's going to do his work. Constantly had to fix his hair as well. Alright, so yeah, he's a little lighter on the feet, but yeah, when he's in tight like this is where he could do his damage. He kind of got in and then backed out over there. That's not ideal. I'm sure I pointed that out, but yeah, right here is where he wants to do all his work. He's at the end of his punch. It's also a little bit jammed on my end. He's timing that jab. But one thing I remember saying too is I want him to twist a little bit more on those rights. He's kind of throwing it for the sake of throwing it. I want to see a little bit more shoulder and hip behind that. There you go. But see, once he's timing these jabs, it's all about You know, anytime he's at the end of the punch, it's not like he has to panic. He's reading. He's making reads right now. And right there, he was able to replace his head with his right hand. That's something we work on a lot. Anytime you're fighting southpaw versus righty or vice versa. Again, see, he's not panicking. Just because I'm at the end of my punch, I'm throwing my jab. As long as I'm not eating him. You know, obviously the goal is, yeah, the crowd can do this, be offensive here. Especially when he has me against the ropes. Great time to dig into the body. He's constantly fixing his hair, but... You know, I want to see him a little bit more bounce on his feet here. But ultimately, yeah, it's, you know, especially when you're giving up range like that, you're not going to always be in offense mode. You got to kind of inch your way in. You got to weather a storm a lot. It's an uphill battle, but it's very tiring for me to go backwards, so I constantly keep walking forward. So I'm just kind of measuring. Here's the end of my punch here. But anytime he crowds me, at the end of the day, this is also, it's better for him. Just because I can hit him, I'm going to be jamming my punches, whereas he's going to get a full extension here. So his whole goal is just keep walking forward, crowd me, and again, not panicking when he's out here. Timing that, again, when I'm throwing that jab, he's timing that, called the outside right there. He's moving his head, so we're probably just a slow motion version to kind of time it. Also the inside version as well. Brought his head inside for 1-2.